Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrot, and today I went to a small farm auction in Bangor, Michigan. I went to this farm auction with a budget of $148, and I did end up buying some stuff. Here, I've passed up a couple running gears, a couple horse-drawn wagons. Now I'm taking a better look at this hay rake. This, of course, is a horse-drawn hay rake, but it looks to be in fairly good shape. Nothing seems to be stuck on it, although it is covered on leach and from sitting for quite a while. All these hay rakes went for about $125 to $300. As you can see here, this one had some work done to it recently. It has a whole bunch of shiny new screws and bolts holding it together. This is a hay stacker. It's not really useful to me, but it is kind of a cool piece of equipment. The wooden slats are all rotted away, but all the metal's intact. This manure spreader was something I was interested in, and it went for $75, but my top on it was $50. As you can see here, the chains are still loose. All the parts in the back still moved. It just needed a new floor. While it is ground driven, it is perfectly serviceable by my tractor. This is a horse-drawn manure spreader. It is essentially gone. All the metal is still here, so if you have good woodworking skills, you can get it back together. This planter, it's nothing here. The seeder's in pretty good shape again. It is ground driven, so it doesn't require PTO or hydraulics. I came around and looked in it. The bins are in good shape. But I noticed most of the seeder tubes are rusted out, and some of them have had new plastic tubes inserted, and some of them are still the original galvanized. This is an Alice Chalmer pull-behind combine. I don't think my Ford 9N can handle this, and regardless, I don't have much use for it. And once again, the wood on the grain head and the slats to pull it up into the machine are rotted out. This one is PTO driven. Just a small little snowmobile trailer. This horse trailer's in okay shape. The jack is missing off the tongue, but all the tires hold air, and while it is rusty, it isn't rusted all the way through like the one I use for my pig shelter. And the floor is still in place. This sold for $1,400, which I think is a pretty fair price for it.
It ought to have a special purpose, I don't
Yeah, I'm kind of showing away so I don't catch people on the camera that don't want to be recorded. Horse-drawn cultivators. These are in also surprisingly good shape. This is a horse-drawn corn picker. Once again, all the metal's there, but the wood's all rotted away. That sold for $150. This is another horse-drawn. This is a horse-drawn disc. This was one of the items I was interested in because while it is horse-drawn, it can be drawn by my tractor quite easily.
Bolts broke off.
This went for $85, surprisingly. Another horse-drawn disc. That one went for $125. This is a Ford 3-point disc that's been rigged up to be pulled by horses. It went for $75.
It's a 3-point, but it's been converted so that you can pull it with a horse.
This is another 3-point disc. I believe this is Dearborn. It went for $65. Several drags. I didn't bother bidding on any of these because I don't really need them. I'd like a back blade, but I don't need a drag. A culti packer. This might be useful for the horse rescue, but not for me. A ride-on plow. Horse-drawn. Another horse-drawn plow. Now this is an interesting piece here. This is a John Deere combine circa about 1905. It sold for $550. I'm sure it was a collector who bought it. There was a sickle bar that I just passed which sold for $1,000. But there was people all around it, so I didn't point my camera at it very much. That's one of the reasons why, as you see, I'm moving around here. I'm keeping the camera pointed down at the ground. This is a trailer with a bunch of miscellaneous stuff on it. The trailer itself is not for sale, but everything on it is. Some shovels, batteries, rakes, pitchforks, axes. That's a bushwhacker. Looks pretty impressive. Post hole pounder, some other random stuff. There's nothing in that DeWalt case. Some wood planes, crutches. Farm jack. This is a nice box of electrical stuff. I bid on it, but it ended up going too high, which was a shame. I could really use this for some of my fencing projects I gotta do yet. A little knife sharpener. These two chainsaws went for very reasonable prices. The pitcher pump went too high. These boxes of tools, it took them a while to sell all the boxes. People weren't really that interested in them. Live trap. Nice little Craftsman table saw. Shop vac. Couple generators. Looks like they've been in use recently. Horse-drawn plows. These went pretty cheap. Horse-drawn cultivator, hand cultivator, airlines. This is a deer stand. It went for a pretty good price. Couple of aluminum extension ladders. Trash can, barrel, some feeders. A little animal cage that I did buy for $2.50. Some equalizers for horse-drawn equipment. A trolley cart. A corn sheller. A bunch of chicken wire. I actually bid on this.
Over. And I'm back home. Let's see what I bought. For $10, I got this old water trough. There's of course going to be chicken brooder since I have 2 sets of chickens in brooding right now, and one of them's in just a tote. I bought this animal cage. This was $2. It's a nice little animal cage. I can use, transport small chickens, small turkeys, stuff like that. Then I got some hand tools. A bow saw, yeah, that was just a bundle. Same with the broom. I bought all these tools has one bundle. So the bow saw and the broom were just thrown in. I don't need them. Here I have a long-handled sod shovel, pair of post hole diggers, a short-handled sod shovel, a leaf rake, a spade, a bulb/potato planter, and a potato fork. This is used to dig potatoes out of the ground. And I got looks like a 6-foot disc harrow. I paid $65 for this. Originally it had 2 racks on it, but the previous owner had removed the rear rack to make it able to be pulled by a horse. I'm going to pull it with a tractor. The only repairs I had to make was I had to replace this bolt and this bolt. A whopping total of $3.75. And I still got to remove this part right here. I'm going to hold on to it because sometimes I can find these races for the discs on Marketplace without the whole frame. And if I can, then I can get this, fully reassembled to what it's back. I've not found any manufacturing marking on it, but I do believe it is a Dearborn. It is 3-point. Here's your top pick and then your 2 side pins. It's been booger welded on a few times because this was an old farmer who passed away recently, and he just welded and rigged up his equipment. And yeah, you can see a whole bunch of booger welding on it. And like I said, there's no nameplates or manufacturer tags on it anymore. But if you compare the way this looks in the front to my brush hog over here, this actually is a real Ford Dearborn. And as you can see, they look a lot similar. So I am quite convinced that this is indeed a Ford Dearborn disc to match my Ford 9N tractor. Thank you very much for watching.